Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to Six News. Today we're breaking down Rank 2.0 as we now know how it works, and I've also been testing it myself to see where things line up. And I should be able to tell you roughly where you're going to end up based on your previous rank in Rainbow Six Siege. And we'll start with the basics. So in the previous ranking system, you had an MMR score. This went up and down based on wins, and it would be directly related to your rank, along with also being used for the skill-based matchmaking in the ranked playlist. And now in Rank 2.0, you have two values. One of them is skill, which is MMR. It's exactly the same thing, calculated exactly the same way, and it is literally the same number, but it now has no correlation to your rank. Your rank is now a new value that you progress from 0 upwards through the ranking system, but you will top out at a certain rank when the game thinks you have reached your rank potential. But let's go deeper into those things because there's a lot of complexity here. So first of all, this is the first season with this new system. So you're bringing over your previous rank from the last season. So that score comes over to be your skill in the new season and is used for the skill-based matchmaking. And that means if you were boosted to, say, champion and maybe you're not quite that good, you're going to have a really hard time in the new system because normally there would be a soft reset of your MMR at the start of a season. That is not happening. So you're going to go right into this new season and potentially get wrecked for quite some time until you can actually get into your correct skill rating, and then you'll be able to progress up through the ranks. But this is where I can throw in some of my experience now because I've been testing this new system. I've played a lot more ranked than I normally would. I've played about 4 weeks worth of my normal ranked in just 1 week. So we're going to go through how my experience has been with this new system, and I can also start to calculate out different rank positions that you'll probably be able to attain in a Rank 2.0. So we'll start with my previous rank in the last season, and that was Gold 1. And this is not the highest rank you attain, this is the one you ended the season with, and that MMR comes over as your new skill rating in the new season. So my stats here should be a good approximation for most players in Rainbow Six Siege because the average rank is silver and gold, or at least from the previous system. But I will also be covering the lower ranks and the higher ranks in this video too, because I can give you a good idea of where you're going to end up at the end of the season. And you can see here that I have played 81 matches. I have a win rate of 58%, a kill to death ratio of 0.8, and I've won 47, lost 34. No abandons at all. I actually haven't had a single disconnect my entire time playing this season, and I've been playing it on the Xbox. But the servers have had massive downtime, and if it wasn't for that, I probably could have played at least 20 more matches and got to a full 100 by now. Well, let's talk about my experience from start to finish. So, of course, you start at Copper 5. Now, that is simply a cosmetic rank. It has no impact on matchmaking. Matchmaking is done with the skill rating. That is your MMR from the previous season, and you'll be matched up as close as possible with the same skill rating as players around you. And to begin with, I was getting 80 points per win, minus 9 points per loss. And this is because the system is attempting to get you to the correct rank. So it's gone, right, this person is not a copper level person, so I'm going to push them up at full speed. And 80 points is the maximum you can get in this season for a win. And then as I progressed up the ranks, my progression slowed down. And it slowed down quicker and quicker as I got to the rank the game thought I could attain, and apparently that was Emerald, where I was getting 40 points per win, but losing 33 points per loss. That means most likely I'm going to top out at Emerald 1, and at that rank I will be getting the same amount of points for a win as a loss, so effectively I should stay still in the ranking system. And then let's talk about the experience for low skill and high skill players. So if you're a high skilled player, and this means winning most of your matches, you will get 80 points per win, minus 9 points per loss forever. Even after you attain champion, you will still get 80 per win, minus 9 points per loss, because the game just considers you to be a high skilled player. I'm not sure if this is very good because it means the competitive players actually have no risk, and I feel like, because I'm not a competitive player, but I would imagine a competitive player would not like the fact that the risk is being taken away. But like I say, I'm not a competitive player, so I may be wrong. I'd love to know what your interpretation of this would be as a high skilled player. And then a low skill player, they're going to have a far slower experience ranking up. They're going to be in copper and bronze for far longer, but they should be able to attain silver and most likely gold as well. But they might well need the entire season to attain that gold rank. Now, I had a ton of misconceptions in my comments around about where people would originally top out. A lot of people thought there was going to be this match up to the old system, that a copper player would still be in copper, a bronze would still be in bronze. But the way I see it with this new system is that copper and bronze are there as part of this progression system. So they're kind of not real ranks anymore. They're just kind of the starting point. After that, then you kind of get into the real ranks. So I think that copper and bronze is kind of like silver now. Silver is like gold, gold is like emerald, and then diamond is probably going to be champion, and of course champion will be champion as well. However, I do believe lower skilled players will also be able to attain champion with the use of another feature in Rank 2.0, but we'll get onto that shortly. But I do want to hit on some very important stuff that we should go over first. So to begin with, your skill is calculated exactly the same way as the previous ranking system. It is based on wins and losses. This means that solo queuing, of course, is detrimental. And that is what I do. I solo queue. That is a very bad idea in ranked. It still is in this new system, although this is definitely easier for a solo queue player to rank up. But you will not attain as high a skill rating, of course, if you're playing either a pre-made group of friends with comms or jumping into a looking for group and picking up people to play with that also have comms. So be mindful that whenever you matchmake in ranked as a solo person, you are agreeing to be on the worst team out of the two, and it'll come down to luck potentially that you might win it. And be noted, the system behind the scenes that is doing the skill-based matchmaking is a product of Microsoft. It is called TrueSkill, and they license it out to game developers to use as a skill-based matchmaking system. Now, there is a second version of this that's been out for years, which takes into consideration other parts of the gamer's overall stats to give them a better skill rating, but Rank 2.0 still appears to be using the version 1 of TrueSkill. There's also another thing to take into consideration with the skill-based matchmaking, and that is the uncertainty value. And this is where you have to play enough games for the actual system to be certain of your skill. Because until you played enough games, the system will throw some high-skilled players at you to see if you can beat them, so it can figure out if you're better or worse than those players and help to adjust your rank skill rating. So even though I've played a lot of games this season and got a good idea of how the rank system works, the actual values might change considerably as the season goes on, because this is the first season with this new system and we might need to let it develop fully before we find out where everyone's going to end up sitting over time, and especially in future seasons when we start with everything already figured out. Now let's move over to talk about how a low skilled player can get to champion. And I believe that there's a chance I can do this season. Now this is probably going to be the only season I'll actually try to attempt it, because I'm going to have to put in a lot of games, but I think I can grind champion out. I'm going to try anyway. And on face value, it may seem impossible because I am going to hit a point where I get the same amount of points for a win as I do a loss. And overall, my actual win rate will be about 50%, which means I'm not going to go up in rank. But there is a feature which is going to help me, and that is the demotion shield. So when you go up into a new division within a rank, if you lose and you're going to drop down a rank, the demotion shield will kick in and stop you losing points. Now this will only happen once. If I lose another game, I will be demoted. But the point is, it's stopping me from losing points, which means that because I'm losing the same amount of points for wins, if some of those points are getting taken away by the demotion shield, which kicks in every time with a division, even if I get demoted once and then come back up into it, the demotion shield is reset. So I can continue to crawl my way up the ranks just from grinding. And as long as I have a 50% win rate, I can go up in ranks. It'll be slow as hell, but I think I can do it. Right now, I am 1 week into the new season and I am in Emerald. All I have to do is crawl my way through Diamond, and then boom, I am into the champion rank, and I think I can attain it. I've got, a good couple of months left in this season, and if I just put the time in, I think I can definitely do it. But in future seasons, I don't see myself actually putting the effort in to grind it out. But you never know, I So far, I'm loving this new system for just playing it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about the conclusion. So, first of all, I love Rank 2.0. For me, it is the best thing ever. It is awesome for me solo queuing. I'm having a ton of fun with it. And it's just great to progress through from the bottom up. Normally, what would happen is in the previous ranking system, I'd play my 10 placement matches. I'd end up in, I don't know, silver or something, maybe get up to gold at some point, come flying back down to bronze, maybe push myself back up to silver, and that would kind of be my experience. I love the fact I'm starting at copper, working my way up, and it's a very nice linear progression. Now, as we get to the higher ranks and my actual progress slows down, it is making me want to grind it. And that to me is a good thing because we want more people in the ranked playlist because then we get more balanced matches. But we should talk about balanced matches. So this system is supposed to, of course, make it so that everybody is winning 50% of their games because that way it's obviously better for competitive play if a copper player is actually playing copper people. Whereas with a new season, normally their MMR would get reset and they end up playing like silvers and golds. Now they can actually just go straight into the new season playing coppers, which is nice. But that doesn't mean there's going to be a 50% win rate for everyone. Copper is going to have below 50% win rates. They're not, because literally there's not enough of them to matchmate. They're still going to end up with silvers and golds in their lobby. And as a result, they're going to have a below 50% win rate, even in this new system. The other thing is that the champions and diamonds, they're still going to be winning more games than they're losing, and they'll just fly through the ranks. And they're going to have like a 70 to 80% win rate. Now, to me, that's a bad thing because I've been noticing that it's basically taking like 30 to 35 matches for champions or even diamonds to get to the champion rank. And they're winning 80 points per win minus 9 points per loss, which means the losses now mean nothing to them. Like literally, it means nothing at all. And what they're going to do, most likely, is they're going to simply go into a Smurf account and rank up on that different account. So I actually think that the high skilled players are the worst off in this new system because it takes away the challenge. And that's what I imagine competitive players are after. But I'll also say that the low skill players are also going to have a hard time in this new system as well. So a copper player who has, let's say, a 30 to 40% win rate, and that's just simply due to there not being enough low skill players in Siege. The player base has shrunk considerably. We now have mostly hardcore left. So the low skill players are going to have a hard time leveling up, even with the demotion shield, because they're losing more games than they're winning. They're going to have a very much a hard limit that they will not be able to go past. Whereas people at my level, like a 50% win rate, we can get the best of both worlds. We get to rank up at a nice steady pace, but we also get to the challenging point where getting champion is going to be an actual challenge for us, where it should be quite satisfying to grind out. But also we don't have to worry about going down in ranked because we're just not losing too many games for that to happen. And we can fully take advantage of that demotion shield as well. But certainly my conclusion is that I love rank 2.0, and in a more normal play style where I play my games a bit slower, I'm going to just have so much fun playing over an entire season and just progressing through the ranks. I don't think in the future I'm going to try and attain champion, but I might have a go at it, you never know. This is the only season I think I'll go properly for it, and it's basically to test the system and see how far I can push it. And for solo queuing, it has been a great experience, which is how I play my Rainbow Six Siege these days because my friends unfortunately have kids, and that kind of fills up their lives, so I'm no longer able to team up with them. So it has been a lot of fun solo queuing rank 2.0. So I'd love to hear your guys' experience in the comments below so we can kind of collate more data together to figure out how things are playing out. Because you've seen that I ended the last season as Gold 1. I then went into this new season, ranked up to Emerald 3 with 81 matches played, 58% win rate. So write in the comments below what your previous rank was at the end of the season, how many games you've played, what your win rate is, and what the rank you're currently sitting at in ranked 2.0. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.